Okay, so the next thing I want to take you guys through is the automatic crop settings on a mid-range combine. This particular one we're in today is on it's a 7088 combine, and the procedure is the same for all mid-range combines. And in order for automatic crop settings to be available, you've got to go into the toolbox menu and find the combine tab, and you'll want to make sure that ACS is enabled. Make sure that's set to on, and at that point in time you'll probably go into the layout tab, and make sure that machine settings is set up on one of the run screens. So here we have machine settings. That's going to be our ticket to making sure that automatic crop settings works. Just a brief explanation of the buttons. You've got what looks like an arrow coming out of a diamond-shaped box, and then you also have an arrow going into a box. And so machine or automatic crop settings is much the same as on a flagship combine. It basically saves the 5 main settings of the combine, which would be your rotor speed, concave setting, fan speed, top and bottom sieve. And so if we can save the settings for whether it be tough beans or dry beans, wet corn or dry corn, that'll save us some time. We no longer have to use pen and paper to write down the settings that worked for us last year. We can just enter them into the display and use them over and over again. We can add as many as we want. We can add automatic crop settings that seem to work better for different hybrids, and so on and so forth. So yes, we have an arrow coming out of the box and an arrow going into the box. The best way to remember that is if I make a change down here on my right hand console. Let's say I adjust a sieve open or closed, for example, or my fan speed, concave or rotor speed. I can then at that point save my current setting, and I can either inspect my current setting by touching the info button here, and I can scroll down, and this will give me all my current settings for our 5 main settings. And of course you'll want to set this with the combine running. Currently obviously the combine's off and our rotor speed is at 0 RPM, so you'll have the combine running, the separator and feeder running, and in fact no, you don't need the feeder running, but you do need to have the separator running. And then you'll adjust the speeds to your crop condition, and then you'll touch the arrow going into the box to save that setting into the file. So kind of think of that box as a file or a folder. Arrow going into the box means you're saving that setting into the box. Arrow coming out would be retrieving that setting. So if I wanted to change from corn to beans, and the combine's been set for corn, I'll hit the arrow out of the box. I'm gonna withdraw that setting, and the combine will automatically adjust to that setting. When the separator is turned on, of course it'll take some time, as you are familiar with on a mid-range combine. Adjusting fan speed and rotor speed does take some time, so do be patient with it. And eventually, if you want to monitor what's going on, you can hit the info button here. This acts as a snapshot. It's not going to be live. If you want to see live what's going on, you're going to have to go into the A post and touch your appropriate button to monitor your rotor speed and fan speed, and then you can monitor on the go what's happening there. This is just a snapshot, so if I want to wait a couple of seconds and then hit info again, I can see what has changed, but this is not going to be live. One thing that we will want to be aware of when changing From rotor speed range, if we make any drastic change, we may have to shift the rotor gear position, so we'll have to actually get out of the combine and shift the rotor transmission. The display doesn't seem to know what gear you're in, but it will, if you're in first gear, for example, and you're trying to achieve 700 RPM on the rotor, it's probably not going to happen. But the machine will try to get it there, and eventually you'll probably see an icon in this upper left-hand corner. It does look kind of like this ear of corn with the grain head here, and I think it has an exclamation point next to it, and that symbol just basically means that the automatic crop setting could not be achieved in the current gear position. So that's just kind of a reminder that you need to get out and shift your rotor transmission, and then it will continue to adjust your rotor speed to your desired setting. That's just an overview of the automatic crop settings on the mid-range combine.